Hi and welcome to Stamping with Linda, your cardiologist since 1997, helping you create cards from the heart. Today is my 13th video in this series Creative Folds. I'm going to use my two of my favorite bundles from the new catalog, one being the label Love Collection and the other being the Wildflower Meadow bundle. And what we're going to do is a double flip card today. So let's get started. First off, we are going to bring in our Stampin' Trimmer. I've cut my cardstock, which is very vanilla, at 4 1/4 by 7 1/2, and I'm going to score that at the 3 5/8 and the 4 5/8 to give me 2 score lines, like so. Next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in my Big Shot and the new magnetic platform. Last night I had a class for my downline and their customers. There was 55 of them, and the biggest hit was definitely the magnetic platform. So I'm going to take my score lines and make sure that they're very vivid. Something that I'm finding out with the magnetic plate is that you want to make sure that you use a flat cutting mat for your bottom sandwich. If not, that bow will affect the magnetic field with your framettes. So I'm using my label collection of framettes. You get 6 different sizes, and I'm just lining the points of that label in between the score lines, and we're going to do the same technique as we did on the single flip card. We're lining up to that first score line and running it through the Big Shot. Again, with that magnetic plate, it just holds it firmly. I'm going to leave that label right where it's at and just flip this around, because now I want the plate to go from the opposite score line to the edge of the cardstock. And I always want to put my thickest sandwich in first. So there we've got that, so that the rollers do not push out that cutting mat. So here we've got it. We did the first cutting mat, so it just scored from here to here. Second cutting mat to the score line, it just cut from there to there. So there we have that. Next, we're going to bring back the Big Shot. The magnetic plate will only work for framettes. So now what I want to do is I want to do my embossing folder. And because this card is, I'm going to be using the polka dots, the card is definitely bigger than what my embossing folder is. I'm going to line it up like so and run it through. And then I'm just going to flip this around like so, and I'm going to take it away from the camera so that I can see how to line it up. So I just lined up where the embossing was done, so that it will continue through with my embossing. Even though it's double embossing in some areas, it will be the same thickness. And I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but my polka dots are all the way through. And it's kind of hid those scoring lines. So there we have that. Now we're going to assemble our card. Again, I have used one of my favorite sets. And have already used the white craft ink and embossed the Wildflower Meadow on strawberry slush cardstock, and I'm just going to layer that inside like so. Then I'm going to flip it over, and I have cut another one of the labels and have just used my marker and part of that big background stamp. There, I have my flip done. I'm going to go in with my strawberry slush, and I'm just going to sponge around the edges just to give some depth to the card. Sponging just makes it look like there's more layers, and since this card is so white, it just highlights the different layers with the layers frame mats. So there I've got my layering. I'm going to go back in, flip that card back out. I'm going to go in, I have already punched from the Label of Love. This is a bundle, stamp set and punch. Punch that, have put a dimensional on that. So that'll go down here. Next, what I'm going to go in with is my In Color. If I can pick it up, it's sliding all over here. There it is. My In Color Boutique Details. Going to grab a couple glue dots for that. Put that on my flower, and there we have it, a double flip card. Thanks for joining me. Don't forget to join me on Friday when we do the series What's Up with Stampin' Up.